What if I told you there is a planet in our solar system that could float on water? A planet with a storm raging for over 40 years. So perfectly shaped, it forms a hexagon. A perfect geometric hexagon. On a planet. A planet whose rings are slowly disappearing. In 400 million years, they will be completely gone. Future civilizations will look up and see nothing. And a planet with a moon where it literally rains. Not water, not ice, but liquid methane. A moon with real rivers, lakes, and oceans made entirely of oil. In August 2025, astronomers discovered 128 brand new moons orbiting this planet in a single announcement. 128, bringing its total to over 274 known moons. This planet is not some distant mystery billions of light years away. It is right here in our own solar system, just 1.4 billion kilometers from where you're sitting. Its name is Saturn, and it is far stranger than anything science fiction ever imagined. Saturn is the sixth planet from the Sun, and the second largest planet in our entire solar system. It is classified as a gas giant, meaning it has no solid surface, no ground to stand on. If you tried to land on Saturn, you would simply sink through layers of gas, liquid, and crushing pressure until you were destroyed. It is enormous. 827 Earths could fit inside Saturn, and yet, despite being 95 times more massive than our planet, Saturn is the least dense planet in the solar system. Its density is so low it is actually less dense than water. If you could find an ocean large enough, Saturn would float. Think about that. The second largest planet in our solar system would float like a beach ball. Its interior is layered like an onion. A small, rocky core at the center surrounded by metallic hydrogen, then liquid helium, and finally the thick, gaseous atmosphere we see from space. Saturn is roughly 1.4 billion kilometers from the Sun. At that distance, light from the Sun, traveling at 300,000 kilometers per second, takes 80 minutes to reach Saturn. Now let's talk about what Saturn is most famous for, its sextants, its rings. Saturn's rings are one of the most beautiful structures in the known universe. They stretch 282,000 kilometers from edge to edge. That is roughly 73% of the distance between Earth and the Moon. And yet, despite being that wide, the rings are incredibly thin. In most places, they are less than 1 kilometer thick. If you scaled Saturn down to the size of a basketball, its rings would be thinner than a single sheet of paper. The rings are made primarily of ice particles and rocky debris, ranging in size from tiny dust grains to chunks as large as a house. But here is something remarkable. For years, scientists believed Saturn's rings were relatively young, perhaps only 100 million years old. But new research published in 2026 suggests something different. New research suggests that Saturn's rings may be far older than they look, possibly as old as the planet itself. So shall be, and there is another twist. Scientists now believe the rings may have been created by a catastrophic collision. New research suggests that Saturn's largest moon, Titan, may have been born when two older moons slammed together hundreds of millions of years ago. An event so violent, it may have created Saturn's iconic rings in the process. Outlier kit. The rings you see in every telescope, every photograph, every school textbook may be the debris field of a catastrophic moon collision that happened hundreds of millions of years ago. Now let's talk about one of the strangest things ever observed on any planet. Saturn's hexagonal storm. At Saturn's North Pole, there is a massive atmospheric phenomenon, a storm system, shaped like a perfect hexagon. 6 perfectly straight sides, each side longer than the diameter of planet Earth. This is not an illusion. This is not an artistic interpretation. This is a real, physical atmospheric structure, first spotted by Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 back in the 1980s, and it is still there today. Scientists have studied it for decades. The hexagonal shape is created by a jet stream, a fast-moving band of wind that flows in a specific wave pattern. Where the wave creates 6 bends, it locks into that hexagonal shape and maintains it. Inside this hexagon, a massive rotating storm, similar to a hurricane Saturn, sitting at Saturn's North Pole, large enough to fit 4 Earths inside it. Saturn's winds reach speeds of up to 1,800 kilometers per hour. That is 5 times faster than the strongest hurricane ever recorded on Earth. Of all Saturn's moons, and there are now more than 274 of them, none is more scientifically exciting than Enceladus. Enceladus is a small, ice-covered moon, only 500 kilometers across. But beneath that frozen surface lies something extraordinary. A global liquid water ocean. NASA's Cassini spacecraft, which spent 13 years orbiting Saturn, discovered that Enceladus shoots massive plumes of water vapor from cracks in its south pole. These geysers spray water, ice particles, and organic molecules out into space. Fresh analysis of Cassini data in October 2025 revealed new complex organic molecules inside ice grains spewing from Enceladus. Discoveries that strengthen the case that the moon's underground ocean could potentially host life, organic molecules, the building blocks of life, shooting out of a moon of Saturn into space. The conditions inside Enceladus, liquid water, organic chemistry, and heat from tidal forces are remarkably similar to the conditions scientists believe gave rise to life on early Earth. Enceladus is considered one of the most promising places to search for extraterrestrial life in our entire solar system. So let's take a moment and think about what we have learned today. Saturn, a planet that would float on water. Rings made from the debris of a catastrophic moon collision. A hexagonal storm larger than 4 Earths combined. A moon shooting organic molecules into space. Another moon with methane oceans under an alien sky. And in August 2025 alone, 128 brand new moons were discovered orbiting Saturn in a single announcement. We have been studying Saturn for centuries. Galileo first observed it in 1610, and yet, in 2025 and 2026, we are still making major new discoveries. Saturn is not just a beautiful planet with rings. It is one of the most complex, mysterious, and scientifically important objects in our entire solar system. And somewhere in the cold, dark ocean beneath Enceladus's ice, something may be alive. Even the universe never runs out of secrets. Subscribe, because next week, we go somewhere even stranger.